What is going on, everybody? Today is a fun video for me because I get to interview one of our agency closers members, Kaya, who I've been working with on and off for the last 6 to 8 months. And we talk about everything from her experience with agency closers, her biggest challenges, her biggest wins, along with some amazing advice for women who are getting into high ticket closing space, specifically in the agency world. So this one's going to be a really good one. For those of you guys who are tuning in for the very first time, my name is Curtis. I run a company called Agency Closers where I coach and manage marketing agencies, sales teams, from the agency owner taking sales calls all the way up to large sales teams within the agency space. We only work with B2B agencies here. And so everything that I make when it comes to content and general, just the value that we put out on YouTube is all for the marketing agency space, specifically around sales. So if you guys want more information about agency closers after this discussion with Kaya, you can check us out down in the link below or shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll give you all the information that you're looking for. But until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation with Kaya. All right, Kaya. So tell me a little bit about your sales journey to start everything off. Maybe give me a bit of an idea of kind of like what you're doing right now and then how you kind of came to be in this role.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, I currently close on an offer that helps advertising for car dealerships. It's Dealer Smart. We do digital advertising. And then with that, kind of how I got into that role, at this point, I think I've been in sales for, I think, like about to be 5 years now. I'm 21, but I started in sales when I think I was around 17. I basically just sold really expensive gym memberships. I was involved a lot in kind of the fitness industry, and then from there transitioned that into automotive. Also did a little bit in marketing as well, but kind of just mostly in-person sales, and then ended up interviewing for Dealer Smart, and that's how I transitioned into remote high ticket.
Love it. So how long have you been in remote high ticket for then?
Just about a year now, a little over a year at this point.
It's only been a year. I feel like it's been an eternity.
It's crazy. It's going like a little over a year, like quite literally. Like my official year was like June 1st. So it's been like 23 days past that.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. All right. So you've been in agency closers now for like off and on 6 to 8 months.
I think so. Well, that's crazy. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because I think
6 to 8 months-ish.
Yeah, I know we started initially working together, I think like October, November, I want to say, right?
Yeah. And I worked with Josh a little bit before that. And then when you transitioned to a closer, we started working together again. So in your time within agency closers, what would you say has been like your experience being a part of the community, working with me? Walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, it has been one of the coolest parts of just being able to do what I do and feeling confident in it, if that makes sense. Like the community itself is amazing. Like I feel like I have learned a lot from just the other people that you get to surround yourself with, like on the group calls and stuff. But I think another just huge part of it is obviously like the one-on-one attention was something that I think was really, really honestly like necessary for me to like continue doing what I wanted to do in my closing role. Because when I started working with you directly, I was setting at the time. And I think a big portion of what agency closers helped me to do was transition not only from, setting into a closing position, but also gaining just the confidence factor around being able to do that on a consistent basis too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. No, that's awesome. Okay. So then in the last 6 months or so, give me a bit of an idea. What do you think has been like your biggest challenge in your sales process? And how do we overcome that a little bit?
Yeah. It's so funny because I feel like we talk about that. You already know what my answer is going to be here. Definitely the biggest challenge in my sales process is myself. Like I feel like I get in my own head a ton, which is something that was super useful with working with you directly, was just again having kind of that reassurance, because this is like something like working, not only remotely, but also doing sales through like a Google Meeting or a Zoom type of format is something that I was super unfamiliar with. And, just kind of that reassurance factor of like, don't get in your head so much. Like at the end of the day, sales is so, I think this is something that like, not only have like you taught me a bunch in, but it's also something I believe in really heavily, is just sales is so energy focused. And I think so much of what we've been able to work on is that energy portion, which I think especially as like a woman in the high ticket remote space is something that's super duper important to me now, and that I've recognized, especially in the past kind of 6 or so months of us working together, is just how important it is to have consistent high energy and to be able to like maintain like a good kind of grasp on how your head is at to actually be able to do what you need to do on a sales call.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, you do get in your head way too much, Kaya. But we're working on it. No, you're better. You're way better now. You're way better now. Okay, so now we'll take it. I want to get into the women in selling in a second because I think that's a really interesting conversation that I want to like talk about because I think it's just a unique point of view because there's a lot of bros in sales. But before that, so we just talked about your biggest challenge, you getting your own way sometimes. What has been your like biggest win in your sales journey in the same last 6 months? What would you say your biggest like success was?
I think honestly, like a big personal win for me was being able to have my first month making over 10 grand. That was huge. Yes. Thank you, Curtis. So I had 1 month where I cleared 13 grand in commission, which was fantastic. And then I think the biggest thing with just my sales process win is like having a framework. I feel like is something that like I was really lacking when I first started working with agency closers, was just like not having like a set way of how to run a call. Like I had kind of an idea, but I didn't have like this is what you do. And I think that was another huge part, is just like, okay, here's the pieces, just like execute now, if that makes sense.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, 13K a month in commission. Come on, from setting to 13K a month. That's
Yeah.
that's the title right there, Kai. We just landed it.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, so I won't get into too much about like the behind the scenes of the agency stuff, but I think you are a huge factor in going like taking the agency from like just over 100K a month to now doing over 200K a month, which is super exciting because the consistency you and Josh were able to bring to the table. I will brag on you a little bit. Kaya to this day has the biggest retainer ever closed at this agency in the last 7 years, which was like over 8K a month in the local space, which is wild. Such a badass. Round of applause for you, Kaya. Slay, as she says. So going off of that, though, I want to go back to something which is really interesting, which is like selling as a woman in the high ticket space, especially in like a male dominant niche of the car dealership space and even the marketing agency space. It's a huge bro niche. So what I'm curious about is for all the other women out there wanting to get into high ticket sales, specifically in the agency space, because that's the demographic we work with here. What would be your best piece of advice for being successful stepping into a closing role?
Oh, good question. I think a big factor in it, and I'll keep going back to this, but like really your energy and your confidence will matter so much in these conversations. I think even something that happens like just looking at it as like the bro space that it really is like a huge portion of like the reason that like these guys of a huge portion of the reason that these guys are able to be so successful in the industry is truly they have just kind of that like reckless abandon when it comes to confidence. Like I meet so many, like it's such a stereotype of like the like stereotypical like Chad sales guy, and a huge portion of that is just because of the fact that like these people have so much confidence, like they truly don't give a fuck, they're just willing to do it. And I think
100%.
that as like a woman in high ticket sales, you have to be able to take that same core confidence and still be yourself in it. Like a huge portion of what's allowed me to like enjoy remote high ticket now is not only like knowing how to be confident and how to have high energy and how to hold authority calls, but allowing to like still be yourself within that. Like at the end of the day, I think that there is like a lot of genuineness that you have to carry to close a larger amount in cash. And so still being able to stay true to like yourself and all of that. And also like my biggest thing is like you have to be willing to learn. Like if you're not somebody who is able to put your ego and your pride and like whatever preconceived notions of sales that you have and just like put them behind you, and I think that's really like the biggest thing with just success overall, especially coming in as a woman in a male dominated industry. It's like learn how to kind of isolate yourself from the noise and still learn and push forward from that.
Amazing. That's super good advice. And I think it's super important for people getting into the space to kind of understand that and be able to embody that, which is not easy to do, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, kind of guess going off of that then, when it comes to your biggest, like, I guess within agency closer specifically, you are definitely like one of the only women. I think there's been a handful that have kind of come and gone. How have your experience been within agency closers as a woman?
It's been great, honestly. I do wish there was more of us, just because I'm biased. I think women sell better, but I'll
They
die on it.
do. They do. 100% they do.
But all that being said, like it has been really, really great because I think like one thing that you've been very good at is like not trying to like broify me. I guess if that would be like the best term for it. Like you really have like been a big supporter of like staying, true to who I am and how I sell and how I position myself, but just also being able to give the tools to like support that in like a way that's actually going to get a deal across the line. And then it's also been great because I do really appreciate, regardless of gender, hearing from successful people and seeing, how they got that success. So it's also just been great for, again, the community factor there.
Yeah. I was just curious because it is a male dominant community
Yeah.
and just in general. And have had some women come in who are like, hey, I really want to work with you, but like, I know you mainly work with men. Is this how is that going to
Mhm.
work? And so I
Yeah.
appreciate kind of getting that feedback because I think it's important that like, I'm going to be honest, a lot of the bros out here are a pain in the tail to work with. I way rather have like a women dominated sales team. I think it would be absolutely crushed. But okay. So finally, also, I guess we'll say that the last question, two last questions for you. Anybody who's interested in joining agency closers and maybe be on the fence a little bit, what would you say to those people?
It'll be the best money you've ever spent. Like it will be. Yeah, I'll talk Curtis up for a second here. Curtis is really cool. No, he's
Stop.
I've had the like really big blessing of being able to be coached by a lot of people and being able to like seek advice from a lot of people who are very, very good at what they do. Honestly, what Curtis just brings to the table is I'm talking about you in third person. This is weird, but like you really do bring to the table like something that's like I think very uncommon in the way that you are very good at understanding, not just the individual person, but like how they learn. Like I think that's like been the biggest thing is like understanding my learning style and adapting to that instead of, trying to force me to understand like how you're saying something. Like if there's ever something that I don't understand or something that's not clicking, it's not like you're trying to hammer the same point again and again. It's you're on my side. It's like, okay, how do we from a different perspective figure this out together? So it's very collaborative. It's very supportive. And I mean, at the end of the day, like it's something that's going to make you more money. And like that's what I'm here for. So
Hey, I respect that 100%. That's all we're all here to do. Awesome. I really appreciate the kind words. That means a lot to me. And then finally, like, what's the goal here, Kaya? What say the next 5 years in what do you want to do? What are you going to accomplish?
yeah, honestly, I want to get into sales coaching. I know this is something that me and you have talked about a lot. But I think a big thing for me is I love learning and I also love teaching and leading and being able to be a part of somebody's success story. So I think a big thing for me as I obviously grow my experience in the industry and just grow in the person that I am right now is being able to lead other people to success is something that's really, really fulfilling for me. So would love to branch a lot heavier into that, especially when we're looking kind of at the 5-year perspective for sure.
Amazing. I can't wait for you. And you're going to absolutely kill it when it's time to do that 100%. Where can people find you? Where can people follow along your journey? I know you make some amazing content on the Instas.
Yes, I have Instagram and I have TikTok. TikTok gets a lot more of my lower quality, but if you want to just see me, there I am. But it is at Kaya Millar on both. And then that's KAYAMILLAR.
Awesome. You're so PR trained. I love it.
I'm so PR trained.
Awesome. Well, Kaya, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time hopping on today and jamming for a little bit. I will see you on our one-on-one on Tuesday or Thursday. So I'm looking forward to
Good.
that.
So excited.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you. Have a good one. And everybody watching, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys have any questions about agency closers, comment down below or shoot me a message on Instagram. And then, of course, like and subscribe.
Do it.
1 second. I almost